transportation. David Thompson knew how to make birch bark canoes. But when you get on this side of the Rockies, the trees were not the same, and they didn't work for canoes. So they needed transportation. It takes a long time to make a dugout canoe. A dugout canoe is where you just have a log and you just chisel out the inside. Sometimes you burn part of it out and you chisel it out. It takes a long time, and they're not as good canoes. So they needed transportation. They needed clothes. Do you think there was any way they could bring enough food with them? No. To feed them? I mean, they needed a lot of calories every day because they were working so hard. There's no way they could have brought enough food with them to last like 2 years for all the people. There's no way. So they needed food, they needed clothes, they needed transportation. Those are things they needed to survive. Okay? But with them, they brought some trading items. Now these are just samples. Some of these things they may not have had with them then, but they brought them in to put into their trading post. So these are some things that were available from the explorers. They would have had frying pans, scissors. This looks like a necklace, but it represents the beads Miss Selena was talking about at the beginning. The natives liked them to decorate. Comb. Bells. Every culture likes music. And, you know, natives here are no exception. They like that sound. It was a sound they didn't have. There should be one more here. Let's see if I can find it. Does anyone know what those are? I doubt if you guys have seen those. What are they?
Like buttons.
Good guess. That's exactly what they are. They're sold on what's called a card. And those are buttons. Because back then they didn't have the t-shirts. All their shirts would have had buttons down the front.
Wow.
Okay? So that's the kind of shirts they would have, clothes they would have. Let's see if I can find a picture of this one other item. And the next one beside it is fabric.
I thought those were
cloth.
books.
Yeah.
You thought they were what?
Books.
Yeah, and kind of, you know, I'm not the one who drew the pictures. But it represents cloth. And I'll explain to you what. That they were towels. Either one, yeah, but it's actually just represents like cotton cloth. Here's the other picture that you guys are going to encounter. And this represents clothes already made. Once they have the trading post set up, they bring in shirts that are already made. Doesn't sound like any big deal to us, right?
No.
Okay, let's talk about what the natives had. Now, did the natives have everything they needed?
No. No.
Sure they did. They'd been surviving for hundreds of years. They had everything they needed. They knew how to get it from nature. They had everything they needed. How many of you guys have a microwave at home? Do you need a microwave?
No.
No, but we all want one, don't we? Yeah, we don't need it, but we want it. Okay?
We're lazy.
Exactly. Right there. It's less work. Okay, here's what the natives had. They had meat. We have, it's a fish, represents salmon, but they would have had also had deer meat. They would have had food. This is actually a root. It's not a carrot, though. Oh my gosh.
What's that?
Wapato root. It represents all the other food they would have had because they collect food, they dry it for the winter. Okay? So they always try to make sure they have enough food. Okay? So that's food. This, clothing. Moccasins. And this represents other clothing. That's just decoration they would have put on it because we all like our clothes decorated, right? Yeah.
Me.
Oh, really? Look at your golden clothes. Look at your shirt.
What about it?
It's decorated.
It's prominent accessories.
Even if it's something that's a plain color but it's dyed a certain color, that's a decoration. Dyeing something a color is a decoration.
What happens if it's not dyed in? It's just plain and plain. What is it?
It depends. What do you have that would be natural color?
White.
Really? I hate to tell you this, white is not a natural color for clothes. That's been bleached.
Oh, brown.
Brown? Possibly. If it's a natural brown. But our clothes, to get that brown, it's dyed. All your clothes are decorated, even if it's just by being a certain color. It's all there because every culture likes decoration. It's just an innate human instinct. We like it. Every culture does that. Okay? So this represents clothing. This represents transportation. They would have had horses. And they would have had canoes. So what what does David Thompson and his men need to get down the river?
Canoes.
They need canoes. Okay, so they have things, the natives have things that the explorers need. But the explorers have things the natives want. Do you know how they cook their food? They made baskets. You can't put a basket on fire, can you? So they have a basket, they'd put water in it, they would heat rocks in the fire, and then they'd put the hot rocks in there, and that's how they cooked their food. Okay?
Sucks.
Yeah, do you know how they made their clothes?
Fabric.
Oh, no, they did not have fabric.
Silly.
They had animal skins. Do you know what you have to do to animal skins to be able to turn it into clothes? Oh, a lot more than that. You kill them, you skin them. First thing, you have to soak it, you have to scrape all the hair off it. Then you have to do what's called tanning it. Because if you don't, it's just going to rot away. So you have to put it in a solution of stuff that includes, among other things, the animal's brains. And you can ask your teacher later about uric acid, because there was uric acid in there too. So, you soak it in that. You know, they know how to test it, and then they pull it out, they let it dry. Now, when it's like that, it's very stiff. If you tried to make clothes, you'd be walking like this. So, to make it soft, the women had to chew it.
With what?
Their teeth. They had to chew those skins to make them soft so they can make them into clothes. Now, we've got explorers who are offering frying pans, fabric, and buttons. Do you think the women wanted that stuff?
Yes.
Oh, heck yes.
They don't want you.
If I had to no longer chew that, hey, I'm taking this. Boy, so much easier. Now, the natives did not naturally trap beaver. It wasn't something they trapped. But it took less work to trap a beaver and go trade it for this than it took to actually make it. I mean, if they had to go hunting the deer and then go all those steps to make the clothes, it was less work to go trap a beaver and just go trade it for the fabric. We are always going to look for things that make it easier. We have bicycles, we have cars, we have buses, the school bus that brought you here. That makes it easier for us. That makes us want it. Do we actually need it to survive?
No.
No.
It's just being lazy.
You know what? I'm used to being lazy though. I would have a hard time. That's all the natives knew. Okay? Now there's something about these items. These two and these two. There's something about those items that make them very unique to the natives. And very desirable to the natives. What do these items have in common? I don't know who said that. Hands would be nice. They're metal. The natives did not have metal. Their knives were sharpened rocks, sharpened stones. They did not have metal.
But they had clay.
They had some, well, some would have, but none of that is as strong as metal. Okay? So now here's the deal. You guys are going to be explorers and natives.
What?
And we're going to do some training.
What?
Okay, some of you are going to be explorers and some are going to be natives. Okay, the explorers, you will have these items to trade. Natives, you will have these items to trade. But there's a couple of rules. First off,
I'm looking for the horses.
okay, when I'm speaking, you're not. Here's the thing. You do not speak the same language. Explorers and natives do not speak the same language. So you're going to have to figure out how to communicate.
Can you speak Spanish?
Well, you can, as long as no one else understands it.
Only the native.
If they, you can speak to yourself. If natives, okay, here's the deal. You're not going to speak a language that anyone else that explorers are going to understand. If you're a native, you cannot speak a language any of the explorers will understand. Explorers, you're not going to speak a language that the natives would understand. Okay? So, for this purpose, we're going to say no Spanish. No Spanish, no English.
How many here speak Spanish?
Uh,
Yeah.
1, 2,
Unless
most
you know
of
Spanish.
them.
Now, for this purpose, no Spanish.
There's 3 people.
Okay.
No
so
Spanish,
it's
no
a
English.
different way
Well, I don't speak it. I understand enough Latin that I can figure out some things. Okay, so, no language. So you need to think about how you're going to communicate. Here's the other thing. Natives, whoever turns out to be the natives, you have never seen many of these items before. You have no idea what they are. Now, if you worked really hard to get all that fish, would you trade it for something that, as far as you know, is a piece of garbage? You've never seen anything like it before. What was that? Go ahead. What did you just do? He showed them what it was doing. Because you know what? They don't know. They've never seen it. You have to, explorers, you're going to have to show them why they want it. Natives, you want these things that make your life easier. You want the things that make your life easier. Explorers, you need these items to survive. Okay? So, and by the way, for this purpose, all natives are males. They're all the guys. Because in reality, excuse me, when they come into a camp, they would have taken, the natives would have had their women and children off somewhere because they have no idea who these guys are. They're going to keep their wives and their children safe. So the only ones who would be trading were the men. Okay, that's just a given. Okay, so now we're going to divide up. You guys know how to count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Cool. Can you start, please? So just say 1. 1. 1.
2.
Perfect. Okay, 1s are natives, you're over here. 2s, your camp is over there. Can you please go to your camp? I need one volunteer to help me out here. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't.
I'm going to the Legos and like what?
Okay, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, over here, please. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought I should have had 7. No, there should have been. No, that's 14. Okay, one of you needs to be over here, please.
Okay. I was 1.
Okay, come on over here. Well, that's okay. I need 7 of each. Okay, I need you guys listening to me, please.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I need these two. I need you listening to directions. Okay, first off, you're the first Europeans they have seen. Okay? So they haven't seen anyone like you before. Okay? So you're going into camp. Now, the natives of the Wenatchee Valley were pretty friendly. But how would you be walking into their camp? They've never seen you before. Are you going to line up like this? No. How are you supposed to walk through the halls of school? Single file, right? Okay, that's how best way, because it looks smaller. You don't look like you're dangerous. Now, what about, you can't speak the same language, but what about your face? How are you going to look? How are you going to look? Your face. How's your face going to look? You're going to look happy? Guess what? Smile is the same in any language. Not the evil clown smile. The mom, I'd like you to take me to the mall smile, okay? Okay, you guys know the difference between those two, right? Okay, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So, you have stuff they haven't seen. Guess what? You're going to have to show them what it does. But you can't speak the same language. And here's the other thing, you have to trade with 2 different people.
2?
Yeah.
I'll have scissors.
Oh, I don't know what you're going to get. I'll make sure you don't. Okay, if you would give them the cards, I got to go talk to the native. Yeah, 2 cards. Okay, you guys have to sit in the middle here because people will be walking around there.
You don't know if I'm going to get scissors. I
They have to let them walk around the crazy.
No.
Okay, but you make it small. Make it small. Come on over here.
Are you serious? Are you serious? I got a duplicate.
Can I have you turn around, please?
I would like.
So your back. Yeah. The back. I got both ends.
I got it. What did you get?
I promise
That too.
these people won't hurt you.
So great.
Try. Crisscross, because they're going to be walking around you. I need you to crisscross. Okay, natives. Okay, here's the deal. You have never seen them before. They have items you've never seen before. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I'm
no
speaking to you now.
Oh, yeah, when he's taking
We're going to
it.
trade, because if you don't trade and you go home, you want to see all.
Joe, can I trade that? Can I trade you as well for that?
Here, hey, am I right or what? Okay, so now.
Oh, come on, clothing?
Something that you don't know about.
It's like a bandana. So I'll be
And they better be smiling. If someone walked up to me like this,
Wait, is this made clothing?
no way, I don't treat you.
But teacher don't have like that.
What's a trade bandana?
I want to keep my shirt.
Okay, are you guys ready for trading?
Those are
Explorers, when you are done trading, you need to come back over here and sit at your camp, okay? Okay, are you ready? Okay, I've checked with the natives, they said they're ready. Trust me, they're friendly, but if they think you're attacking, they'll kill you.
I'll run away.
No, your job was to establish friendly relations. Not only would you probably be dead, but you'd be out of a job, so think about it.
You're a peacemaker.
All right, come on.
What's the order? I mean, that's mine.
Come on, I don't want Lily to kill us.
Have to trade with two different people. Okay, you guys spoke some language, just not the same. Sometimes it's so funny. They come up with these languages and they're like,
I traded my dog. I went like this.
oh, good. Trade the next one too. And then after you've traded both of them, come back over to your camp, explorers, and have a seat. I'm seeing some good trading though. Good communication. Oh, great. You got your two items. Go have a seat at your camp, please.
I'm gonna go across the river.
Okay,
I gotta
have a seat.